Can't get any words. Podcasts don't last, giving you the real talk, no holding back. Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. There's always a silver lining. We'll set you free, so join the movement. Let's change the game with the Can't Get Any Worse podcast.
What's going on, everyone? How are we? Welcome back to the Can't Get Any Worse podcast. How are we all today? I hope we're all well. And welcome to our UFC breakdown for UFC 326 this weekend. Max Holloway takes on Charles Oliveira for the second time. This fight happened like 10 years ago or something, and we're finally getting the rematch. And both guys, like usually when you get the rematch 10 years on, both guys are well and truly done and dusted. It's like their retirement fight, you know what I mean? But over those 10 years, these two guys have just got bigger and better, and this is an absolute weapon of a fight. But this UFC breakdown might be a little bit shorter than usual for three main reasons, okay? Reason number one, I have to go and pick the kids up from school in about 40 minutes, okay? So we're capped for time. Reason two, the camera battery is very low. I've got about 40%, but that should get us through this, hopefully. And reason three is, look, I hate to say it. I was well and truly on board at the start of the whole Paramount deal, things like that. I didn't want to be one of those haters out there going, oh, the cards are shit now, blah, blah, blah. I have to say, if this card was a pay-per-view, I would struggle to pull the trigger on buying it, okay? I would definitely only buy it for the main event. Maybe two or three other ones on there, but we will rip into them shortly. But before we do get into the breakdown for this one, we have some news and gossip in the fight world since the last time I sat on this couch. And it just feels like, I feel like I used to be doing a UFC breakdown every few weeks, but now it just feels like a long time between drinks. So since UFC 325, there has been a little bit happening in the world of fighting. So let's touch on the first one. You guys know I am a Conor McGregor dick rider, and every time his name pops up in the headlines, I've got to come and talk about it. Now, I think I did briefly touch on this on the last UFC breakdown, but the rumors are getting stronger and stronger, and I am all fucking for it. Now, Conor has basically said he is part of the White House card. I've heard rumors that they are holding Conor off for International Fight Week. Can't disclose where my sources are for that. But if Conor McGregor doesn't get announced on the UFC White House card, apparently he's going to be the following month on International Fight Week, which you know they stack the card for as well. So if the only thing in that I can think is why they've done that is because if they were to put Jon Jones and Conor both on the White House card, that leaves them straggling for a huge event for the remainder of the year and also for International Fight Week, which is it's like their pinnacle. It's like their Super Bowl in a way, if you will. But in saying that, there is, on top of those rumors, there is big rumors that the fight is going to be Conor versus Diaz 3. And I've genuinely sat down. I've looked at all the names being thrown around with Conor and things like that. The Chandler fight, Dana's already come out and said that's not happening anymore. Everyone give up. Then there's rumors of like Paddy Pimblett or Justin Gaethje or people like that. And those fights just genuinely scare the fuck out of me for Conor because Conor hasn't been in the cage since when did he break his leg? Like 2023 or something, somewhere around there. And for him to come back and verse one of these killers that are like fighting regularly, like every 6 months or so, don't do it to yourself, Conor. You have the trilogy fight there. You and Nate are one apiece. You've both got one win over each other. The trilogy, the lead up to that, the smack talk, it's possibly the biggest fight of all time. Conor 3 has to fucking happen, and we're going to get it at the White House or International Fight Week. So stay tuned for that. Speaking about people that I'm on the dick of, I didn't have a podcast back when I was on the dick of this lovely lady, but Ronda Rousey. One of the big reasons, look, I dabbled in the UFC here and there throughout like my high school period and like when I left high school, right? But then I really sunk my teeth into it. I think Ronda Rousey is one of the main reasons. That's when I started watching like cards every weekend and just getting addicted with this shit. And I feel like that's when the UFC really just started to skyrocket. Like the big press conferences, the big fucking world tours, everything like that. And all that cinema just sold me on the UFC. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm all in. So Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano is officially happening, the rematch, and it's happening on Netflix. So Ronda's come out and said she wanted this to be in the UFC. Dana couldn't quite make it work with the whole Paramount deal and things like that because obviously they've got to look after themselves before they go forking out this big money for these fighters. And at first, when I first heard that, I was like, fuck you, Dana. You could have made this happen in the UFC. Could have been a pinnacle event. It could have been amazing. But then when you sit back and you do look at it from a business point of view, you're like, this is the reason why Dana White is one of the best businessmen in the world. Like, why would he go and fork out millions and millions of dollars for this one chick fight? They're both well and truly out of their prime. They're both in their 40s now, I think. And like, nothing would come of this for the UFC. Like, Ronda wouldn't win this and then come back and be like, all right, I'm going for another tear for the title. Like, this is a one and done fight. So the fact that Netflix, and I think Jake Paul had a hand in it as well to make this happen, I think that's pretty fucking sick. So I'm quietly stoked about it. Do I think it's going to be the best MMA fight we've ever seen? Most definitely not. But do I think it's going to be a good watch for a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, whenever it's going to be on? 100% I'm going to be tuning in for that shit. So stay tuned for that one. Let's talk about a couple of active fighters now. Now that we've touched on the two GOATs, in my mind anyway, you know. But Ilia Topuria, he has started teasing content on his Instagram and shit that he is making his comeback. And his initial post of the comeback, one of the coldest things I've ever seen. This dude, I've said it before, he has it all. He could overtake everyone as potentially the GOAT if he comes back from this debacle and just keeps ripping people's heads off. He's unstoppable. He's knocked out both people in the main event for this this weekend's card. And like I said at the start, both these guys are well and truly still in their prime. So I am stoked to see when he comes back. I do not see it being for the White House or for International Fight Week. I think Dana will be somewhat putting his foot on the brake with this and going, look, if we stack the White House card and we stack International Fight Week, we're going to need something big in that last quarter of the year to tease the fight fans and just get them hooked. And I think that little teaser is going to be Ilia Topuria's comeback for who knows, maybe to get his title back. I don't know how that's all going to be treated, but I think he deserves it. I think if he says he's coming back, then that title's got to go back on the line and he gets to fight for it, and he will 100% win that title back. There is not any ounce of my body that would ever bet against Ilia Topuria in a fight. That dude, he's won me over. And the next bit of fight news, Alex Pereira has vacated his light heavyweight belt, and there's rumors circulating he's moving up to heavyweight, and he wants to be the first ever 3-time weight division champion. And again, much like I just said about Ilia, there is no inch of my body that can doubt the man. He has saved the UFC in the last couple of years more than anyone, potentially anyone in history. Any fight that gets put in his corner, he goes, give it to me. I'm fucking taking it. So the fact that he has sort of said to Dana, look, I don't want this title anymore. I want to move up. And Dana is entertaining it. Just shows how much respect the UFC has for him. So I am keen to see how that goes down. Who he's going to be fighting, none of us know. Obviously, the one we want is Pereira versus Jones. More rumors circulating that I've heard on the grapevine is the UFC knocked that back for heavyweight, and they want John Jones to drop back to light heavyweight and do that fight at light heavyweight, because John Jones is seen as the GOAT of the light heavyweight division, and now Pereira is now also seen as potentially up there with what he's done to that division. So apparently Dana wants that to happen at light heavyweight rather than heavyweight, because it will secure their legacy more in that division. But I honestly couldn't give a fuck if they do it at flyweight. I just want to see those two in the cage and absolutely bang the fuck out of each other. The other name floating around with Pereira is Cyril Gane. Obviously, he can't fight Tom Aspinall. He's still out with the injury. Cyril Gane fought for the title last, so there's rumors that could happen. Alex would he would destroy Cyril Gane. I would not want to see Cyril Gane's face after that fight. I don't even think he could make it past one round with Pereira. Sorry, but we will see what comes of it. I'm excited to see what they put together. Let's get into some bit of juicy stuff. Okay, the beef going around the internet at the moment of Dana White versus Eddie Hearn. Oh God, I'm eating it up. And I'll be honest, I've said it before. I'm not I'm a UFC fan and I watch boxing from the outside. If there's a big boxing card on, maybe I'll give it a watch, but there is no way that I would go out of my way to sit down and watch the boxing. But now that Dana White has dipped his toe in the boxing world, it has, I don't know. I don't know if it's just because he's putting the UFC spin on it. The stories are there. The names are there. It just seems like he's made boxing cool. And that could be boxing purists listening to this right now going, shut the fuck up. Boxing was always cool. And I get it. I'd feel the same if you guys came to UFC and went like, oh, it's cool that the UFC champions get to pick and choose their fights and things like that. I get it. Don't get me wrong. So I'm stoked about this, but Dana is back into vintage Dana White. The Dana White that built the UFC of just being ruthless, not giving a fuck about anyone's feelings, doing what he has to do to just make his boxing promotion the biggest in the world. He's stealing fighters. He's throwing huge money at them. He has the backing of the Saudis. So money is not an option. He is going to these big names and he's just being like, here's a blank check. You write your number on there. Oh, you fight for Eddie Hearn. Oh, even better. Throw a couple of extra million on there because I fucking hate that dog. And just seeing those two, like they both got their own events happening, right? But then the press conferences are just about how much they hate each other. And I am eating it the fuck up. And then the last little bit of news and gossip. This happened last week, so it might be old to some of you guys. But Dan Hooker has found himself in news headlines. And he's found himself in a bit of a scandal. Apparently he's had a mistress. She's come out and she has leaked all this shit about him. She has leaked all this stuff that apparently he has gay partners and stuff as well. Leaked screenshots of like him to other guys. Now I understand this could all be photoshopped. We're in the world of AI. This is all probably fake. And the way that Dan Hooker's come out and addressed the social media and stuff, it makes me feel like he's got nothing to hide. The confidence he's coming out with and just he's more or less like laughing at it. Like, oh yeah, I suck dick now. Like his first post back was like, hey guys, back on Instagram, what did I miss? And I don't know. It just screams to me that he's comfortable with whatever the fuck is going on and this might just be some crazy chick that is trying to get a payout. Who fucking knows? The only people that know is Dan Hooker and the ones closest to him. But before we rip into our UFC breakdown for UFC 326, I forgot I haven't cracked my can of delicious Celsius yet. Oh, yeah, that is good. So let's take a sip and let's rip right in. Oh, that is some good shit. Go to your local servo and pick yourself up a can. Nice little treat on the way home this afternoon. So early prelims, we kick off in the light heavyweight division. We got Luke Fernandez versus Rodolfo Bellato. Look, Fernandez is undefeated and I don't know a great deal about him. I'll put my hand up. I don't know much about him. Bellato is definitely the vet in this one. Their records, Fernandez is undefeated, 8-0. Because of that, it is very hard to doubt him. But I don't know, Rodolfo, he might have that vet spirit, but for the sake of this, I'm going Fernandez. I'm going to pick him by decision. I don't know if he's going to get a finish on this big, on the grand stage. I think he might grind out to a decision. I'd love to see him get a knockout or something like that, and he could be an up-and-coming in that division. Then we move on to the featherweight division. We've got, oh, God, here come the difficult names. Let me zoom right into this one. We have Gaston Bolanos versus Zhong Yong Lee. So they both got 5 losses on their records. They're both pretty fucking even. 13 wins, 5 losses, and 14 wins, 5 losses. So Gaston, I don't know. Lee is probably the most technical, but the little highlight package that I did see of Bolanos, he just seems to have a heavy output and just does not give up. So because of the technicality, I think Lee's going to grind this one out again. I think it'll be another decision. Not a great start to the card. Like I said at the start of this, nothing here really tickles my fancy. Then we go back into the light heavyweight division again. We got some big boys on this card, which I'm loving. We've got Rafael Tobias versus Dior Nurgazayev. I don't know. Again, pretty even records. I don't know much about these fighters, so I'm not even going to break it down, really. I'm just going to go... Let's go Tobias. I like the look of him a little bit more in a non-homo way, all right? No homo, as we used to say back in the day. Let's go him by TKO. Let's go that. I had on there that he's aggressive, and I think his aggression might get him a TKO in that one. All right. It's very rare we get one of these ones in the UFC, but I always love it. So we've got a one-name fighter. His name is Sumu Dereji versus Jesus Aguilar. So I am going to go, again, don't know a great deal about either one of these fighters. I'm just going to go purely, this is a name-based one. This is how I picked the Melbourne Cup, just based on names. I'm going to go Sumaredji by decision. Early prelims, guys, I'm not going to lie, they fucking stunk. It was a struggle just to get anything together for that. So I'm going to go him by decision. Let's move on to the prelims. This is where things get a little bit more exciting for me. Cody Durden versus... Oh, God, another tester. Niamjiragai Tumadegerbura. Oh, God. I'm so sorry, sir. That is one of the trickiest names I've stumbled across on the podcast. But his record is 9-1. And, again, watch the small little package on him. He has some crisp combos going on. But Cody Durden, he has been... I've watched his career for... It feels like forever. So I just can't bet against this young gun. 9-1 is a good record. I reckon he's striking and he's crisp combos like I had up there. I reckon he's going to get the win by either decision or KO. So let's go that very difficult name. I'm not even going to try it again. Again, the next one, featherweight division, Ricky Tercios. Again, I feel like I've watched him forever. He is taking on Alberto Montez. And again, it just seems like we're throwing a vet to another one of these young lions. Montez is 11-1. And again, just another technical striker. I hate these fights because you never know how they're going to go. Like you want to go the new fighter, the underdog, the up-and-comer. You want him to go in and just make a name for himself. But I can't. I'm going to go Ricky Tercios in this one by decision. I reckon his wrestling's going to be too much. I reckon he's going to take it to the mat and just grind out a decision win. Play it safe, if you will. Just playing that old dog mentality. Then we go middleweight division. I think this is our first middleweight fight, which is nice to see. We have an absolute weapon here. I like the look of this guy, Dante Johnson. He has taken on another vet, Cody Brundage. So Johnson... I'm intrigued by him. He has the look. He's got the record. He's an aggressive grappler, and he's just taking on Cody Brundage, who is just an all-rounder. He strikes. He's just a scrapper. That is the best way to describe him. Throw him in the IBC. Dan, give him a call. Throw him in there. I can't go against the undefeated fighter in this. Like I said, I'm excited to see this fight. I think it could be a new name being born in the middleweight division. So Johnson by decision, I think he's just going to dominate that fight. Now, this one, again, I am excited about, but for all the wrong reasons. Now, this guy used to be one of my favorite fighters. Cody Garbrandt is taking on Xiao Long. So Cody Garbrandt is now sitting at 14-7. And I remember the days when Cody Garbrandt, when he became champion, I think he might have even been undefeated at that time. And he was beating everyone, like all my childhood heroes. And then he got the title, and I have never seen more of a fall off in my life. In my years of watching UFC, I don't think I've seen anyone fall from grace as much as Cody Garbrandt has. I remember just watching him just get his ass kicked fight after fight after seeing one of the best come-ups I've ever seen. So he is ex-champion, and he's taking on another vet. So in saying that, I am happy that he's taking on another vet. Like, this guy's record, when I say he's a vet, he is a fucking vet. He is 27-10. That is crazy. And no disrespect for giggling there, but 37 fights is insane. And I've got to go with my heart. I've got to go with young Jimmy here, and I've just got to go one of my heroes at one point. I'm going Garbrandt by decision, but every inch of my body just wants to see him get a knockout. I think I think it is well overdue. I hope he gets the knockout, and I hope he puts his gloves down and just goes, that's enough for me. I am fucking done. All right, we are at the main card. I thought we would never get there, guys. It has been a struggle with this card. Kicks off middleweight division. We've got RoboCop, Gregory Rodriguez, absolute specimen of a man, taking on Bruno Ferreira. So again, pretty evenly matched in terms of records and shit like that. I've just read there. It's a rematch. I wonder who won the first one. There we go. I've got it there. Ferreira upset Rodriguez on debut. So that actually surprises me because RoboCop that we've seen of late, he just seems unstoppable. I always throw a sneaky 5 or something on him because he's always paying good odds, and I think this is going to be no different. I'm going RoboCop. Gregory Rodriguez by KO. I'm backing the dog. Let's go. I think his evolution since that first fight, hard to argue with. And I've seen Ferreira a few times, but I've never really watched one of his fights and been like, okay, I need to keep an eye on that guy. So let's go RoboCop in the opener. Then we go to the lightweight division. Another guy that I thought was going to be the next big thing in the UFC, but never really took off. I don't know why, but Drew Dober is taking on Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson just seems to be on every single card. Like every UFC breakdown I go, oh, Michael Johnson's fighting again. I don't think he gets the recognition he deserves, but just two OGs just banging it out here. It's hard to know who's going to win this one, but what are their records? What do they got there? Dober is 24-15 and Michael Johnson 23-18. All right, let's go this. Based on those records, I'm going to go Drew Dober by KO. I think he's going to dial in his timing, and his power is just going to clock Michael Johnson at one point. And I don't know, I don't recall Michael Johnson being knocked out in recent history. I could be wrong there, but that might be paying some big dollars. I'm going to entertain that after the fight. Then we go bantamweight division. This one again, I'm quietly excited about. So we've got vet Rob Font taking on Raul Rosas Jr. Now, when this Rosas Jr. made his debut in the UFC, I think he was the youngest person to ever debut in the UFC. I could be wrong again, but that rings a bell. But Rob Font, he feels like he's been around forever. I remember seeing him back in the early days, like when you could have sponsors and shit on your pants. But as much as I want to go, the only thing that is stressing me out about this fight is Raul's last fight, he fumbled the bag hard. Like he was seen as the next champ, and then he got that loss. But I'm not gonna down myself. I'm gonna go Rosas Jr. by late stoppage. I don't know if it's going to be a knockout or a submission, but I think he's going to grind it out with this vet, and he's going to have learnt a thing or two from that loss. So let's go that. He's definitely got the momentum behind him, the backing of the UFC. He's got a good fan base. I'm surprised when we get to the UFC, when we get to the Can't Bet Any Worse multi, you guys actually disagreed with me a little bit there, but we will get to that when we get to it. Then we go middleweight division. I am about to fuck up this guy's name hard, so I'm just going to say his last name because I'm partially confident with it. And the weird thing is, like, I feel like I see this guy all the time. He's part of the Fighting Nerds. I'm just going to call him Baralo. He is taking on Reina de Ritter. So this is a fucking sick fight. As much as I fucked up his name there, what are these guys ranked? 7 and 8. Yeah, this is going to be a fucking sick fight. So Baralo is 15-3. De Ritter is 19-5. I didn't realize De Ritter had that many losses, but makes sense, I suppose. So what do we got? They're both grapplers, which is good. This is another fucking flip of a coin one. I'm just looking at my notes up there, and I'm thinking about making an on-the-fly change. I think I'm going to go De Ritter by submission, which is crazy against the Fighting Nerds. That is a again, that might be a bet paying a fair chunk of change. I'm gonna have a little look at that after the podcast. So Dorito by submission. I think his top game and his transitions are just they're going to be elite on the night. Trust me, guys. When have I ever got anything wrong on these breakdowns? I mean, I only come in here and tell you why every underdog's going to win for no real reason. Now we got to the main event. Let me have a little sip before we break this bad boy down. Now, I am fucking hyped for this fight. This is easily the best fight we've seen this year. Well, correction. On paper, this should be the best fight we've seen this year. Max Blessed Holloway is taking on Charles Dubronx Oliveira. And as I've said throughout this whole podcast, they are both well and truly in their prime. They both hold countless records in the UFC. Like, Charles Oliveira has the most finishes. Max Holloway has the most significant strikes ever in a UFC match. He's seen as the best boxer in the UFC, and it is hard to doubt him. Like, he does it all. That fight where he's talking to the commentators and shit, just being like, I'm the best boxer, while not even looking and still landing fucking head punches. Insane. Still one of the best scenes. And then he's done. He's like, there was always the point down to the center of the octagon in the UFC, but I don't remember anyone making it their own as much as Max Holloway has. Like, everyone refers to it as the Max Holloway point down now. Danny Mack, friend of the show, president of the IBC, basically built the whole thing based on Max Holloway pointing down to the center of the octagon. Still one of the most cinematic scenes of the UFC history. But this fight is for the BMF belt. It is a rematch over a decade in the making. And it is just, I feel like more than anything, both these guys are just fighting for not only excitement, but legacy. Like, this is such a fucking sick fight. I cannot express how excited I am for this fight. And I genuinely do not know how this is going to go. Are they both going to bang it out for the 5 rounds and get to a decision? Potentially. Is Max Holloway going to knock out Charles Oliveira? Potentially. Is Charles Oliveira going to submit Max Holloway? Again, fucking potentially. And is there any other variation of all that could possibly happen on the night? 110%. This is, like I said, the sickest fight for the longest time, where I'm going to sit on the edge of my couch and just go, I am genuinely not going to know what the fuck is about to go down. And am I going to be disappointed if it doesn't deliver? Yes, a part of me is, but will I be happy that both these guys get out of the octagon unscathed, like undamaged, serious damage? Yes, I also will, because I genuinely love both these fighters. So my head pick is, I'm going Max Holloway. I love the dude. He's definitely my favorite out of the two. Do I see him knocking out Charles Oliveira? I don't. I see him again just striking up a storm, getting a number of significant strikes. I'm going Max Holloway. I reckon Max Holloway by decision with the overs on significant strikes. That is possibly the best multi of this entire card. Again, I might entertain that. I think his cardio, his volume, his pace, it's all just going to be too much for Charles Oliveira. We have seen Charles struggle in the past with like head noise and shit like that. And I think once it gets into the end of the first round and in the second round, he's just going to be looking at Max Holloway going, what the fuck are you made of? Like, how are you still going at this pace? So that's my pick. Max Holloway decision plus overs on significant strikes. But the underdog, it is tempting. Just Oliveira by submission. It is just sitting there in the back of my head going, you need to throw a sneaky couple of dollars on that as well. So it's a tricky fight to pick, but it is what it is. And that leads us to our can't bet any worse multi for UFC 326 going down this weekend. And these are all picked by you guys via poll on Instagram. We have Rob Font with 55% of the votes. Again, you guys are going against me on that one, but you guys picked, so we were writing it out together. Then we're going Baralo with 75% of the votes. And we've got the champ, Max Holloway, with 62% of the votes. Again, that fight scares the fuck out of me. It is a flip of a coin in my head, but we are riding it out with Max blessed Holloway. Let's fucking go. That gives us a combined multi of $5.48, which it's decent odds. I'm not unhappy with that. So we are going to grind it out together, and we are going to see who the fuck comes out on top with the BMF belt this coming Sunday. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you all listening. Things to plug this week. What have I got there? I haven't even written down my fucking dates. So if you want to see where to catch me doing some stand-up comedy, go back and listen to Tuesday's episode. I've got it all at the back end of that. Other things to plug. I am streaming live from the IBC this coming Saturday, March 7th. Jump on. I have the craziest stream planned. We have co-hosted with Desley Robinson. We have a fighter from pretty much every fight on the card coming on to talk about it after their fight. We have, what would you call them? I don't want to call them influencers because I know they don't go by that, but we've got some internet personalities down there jumping on. We've got the president himself, Danny Mack, jumping on to break down the latest in IBC and recap some of the fights down there on the night. We've got it fucking all. It is genuinely one of the most exciting things I've put together, and I'm keen to see it all come to fruition on Saturday night. So even if you don't want to watch it, go on YouTube, look up Can't Get Any Worse podcast, and it's going to be live streamed on there. Play it on your fucking laptop or something in your bedroom just to get those views up, and it's going to be sick. But other than that, guys, if you want to get in touch with the show, send submissions via DM on Instagram at Can't Get Any Worse podcast, or shoot me an email at can'tgetanyworsepod@gmail.com. The other thing I didn't plug, the Patreon is live. Creamy Boys. Give it a search. A couple of people have struggled to find it. If you do struggle to find it, shoot me a DM. I'll send you the link directly. I'm keen to get some numbers up on that. It is looking sad. It is looking like the age-old case of another failed Jimmy Misson venture. Oh, God. But other than that, guys, I genuinely appreciate you all. Enjoy the fights this week, and I will see you later.
Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. It's all